I was reading something on my phone. I noticed that some lady just stops as she walks by my car. So then I just look up and she goes, "Oh, the way you were leaning, I thought something was wrong, but then you moved your head." And I'm like, "Ah, everything is fine. Thanks for checking." That is another example of my favorite kinds of people. That's the second time I'm in public and someone tries to check up on me. So there is a lot of good people out there. The other instance was I was out with a friend downtown. I remember that I was discussing something rough tone because I'm trying to tell a story as I felt it. And then two guys were crossing the street and I noticed that for a solid minute they kept looking over my way. And then I just look and they wave like lightly, and then they ask, "Is everything all right?" And I said, "Yeah." "Oh, this is just a friend. It's just that I'm ranting to him. It's nothing wrong." But that made me feel so good because it's like if something were to happen, someone is most likely watching and willing to step in. So I like that. Anyways, you guys, today I bring the grand finale of my little series of what people do that turns me on or off. Today, I want to go over the things that people do that turn me off. As a general reminder, what I mean by turning off is nothing about dating or anything like that. Is as a person, what kinds of things make me kind of frown or feel uncomfortable. First and foremost, people who smoke. And the reason is simple. I'm asthmatic. If I'm around you, I start suffering. Like, nothing stinks more than not being able to breathe and having a headache, experiencing shortness of breath as a result of that. So I don't immediately associate someone who smokes as someone being bad. For me, I just can't be around you if you smoke because you can send me to the hospital. And I don't have an inhaler nowadays, which I should get one. But anyway, whenever that becomes available for me, I shall get it. But yeah, it's not attractive too. Like, I don't like the smell of it, and the fact that it affects my health on its own is enough to turn me off. So I have a few friends who smoke and I love them and everything, but I always try to talk them into hanging out with me inside of a building that doesn't allow it, to just save myself. I hope they don't watch this video. Anyways, another thing that people do that may turn me off is when you constantly express yourself negatively about the world. Yes, there is a lot of bad stuff happening. There is a lot of disgrace out there, but don't focus on that. Focus on the good things. Don't turn a blind eye to the challenges that we experience as people, but don't say, the world is just going to hell. There's no hope and this and that, because come on, there is. When I was a teen, I used to think that way to some extent. And I'm so embarrassed now because I've learned to live and I have so much better experiences that I encourage everybody to give themselves an opportunity to find the best parts of life, to discover the best parts of life and enjoy them, and not to base the whole experience in life based on what you may find on the news or read, or just be honest with yourself. Give yourself a chance to be happy. The third thing that people do that may turn me off is being a risk taker, but in the dangerous aspect. If you drive recklessly, if you take unnecessary risks that endanger you physically, anything like that, that turns me off, because you don't have to show off to impress. You don't have to do that in order for us to have a good time. And I just think it's not worth it, because anything can happen in a split second. Disaster can happen in a split second. If it's something that can be avoided, then you should just avoid it at all costs. You have nothing to prove. Another thing that may turn me off that people do is whenever they are really hard on themselves. And here I am talking about this, and I know that I do this from time to time, but you can say that I turn myself off. And pretty much allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to be imperfect. I feel like we have this pressure of being overachievers, doing everything right the first time, etc., that you forget to actually live. Take it easy. Just be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself. Any accomplishment, pat yourself in the back. Appreciate what you've accomplished. You may not always accomplish stuff at the rate and degree that you want to, but you will get there. Just have faith, keep working at it, and Don't be your own worst self-critic, because that's what brings insecurities to your life. At least for me, that's how it's been, and it took me hitting my 20s to realize that. I wish I would have known this sooner, because my life as a teen would have been much happier. Another thing that people may do that turned me off is constantly being nosy, being too curious about other people's lives, what other people are doing, and comparing yourself to them. Just be yourself. Create your own story. Don't be like, oh, well, so and so, they do this on the weekends, and like, it's all right. It's all right. Just do whatever you want. If you don't like the way things are, change it, work on it, and but do not try to measure your success on somebody else's successes, because you may discover that your definition of success may vary, and that's totally all right. Yeah, you guys, those are pretty basic things that I can think of. You guys know me. Just be nice, be kind, and we're gonna be fine. But the opposite puts you in this category of turning me off and making me feel uncomfortable or less likely to hang out with you, or whatever the reason is for me to do this. How about you guys? What are some stuff that people do that turns you off? I would love to hear it. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon.